That's right, Jenna. Just running through a couple of dating ideas with Leanne Tregabov, because guys can make a lot of mistakes, especially when they're in the process of trying to woo a lady. So you are from Camelot Introductions, and you're telling me you're not a dating service. So explain a little bit about what you do.
I'm an actual matchmaker where I meet with both individuals and I decide who would be best with whom.
So we're not just throwing two people together for the sake of being like, you're single, here you go, let's see what's going to happen. You make sure that you're finding compatible people.
Absolutely, and a good matchmaker is always going to break patterns. If you're forever finding the wrong woman, you're going to go to a good matchmaker and they're going to say, hey, try this one. And she may seem like an alien on the first date, and then after you have your aha moment and you say, I get it. Now I see what I've been doing wrong.
Well, you mentioned that first date, and that one has a lot of built-in expectations, and that's where we're doing some major missteps. So in my head, I'm like, okay, you know what? For that first date, let's do it casual. We'll go for drinks, or we'll go for coffee. But you say,
no way.
No, why not? That's so smart.
Because it's an interrogation. If you were meeting me for the first time and you had to sit like this for an hour and a half and talk to me, that's really uncomfortable. And if I dare do this while we're on our date, that is an absolute no-no. This stays in your pocket, volume is off, and you don't touch it. You also do not arrange your date or communicate with one another by text or email, because it's a great way to keep in touch with your friends. It really doesn't help you get to know somebody.
No kidding. Okay, so we should be doing what? We should be phoning up these people?
Absolutely. Have a conversation. Make it personalized. We live in such a techno society. We really need to get away from that. Go back to old-fashioned dating. When you go on your first date, do something. You don't want this, as we talked about.
How do we break that? What are some ideas?
You want to go blacklight mini golfing, go bowling, go do something where you have a distraction. You can laugh, you can have fun.
Okay, so those activities, so you don't have that built-in stress of knowing, I've got to fill the conversation, holy smokes, there's a lull, and I can't check my phone. Oh no, so having those sort of events, so everything got to be fun and let their personality show, correct?
Absolutely.
Now let's talk about on that first date, as far as conversation topics go, is there anything that we should be avoiding?
Yes, nobody cares about your ex. You are allowed one sentence and one sentence only. You guys realized that it just didn't work out. You were not compatible in the end, and change the subject. Your date is not there as your counselor, and you want to start fresh, and it's a new day.
That is really good advice. You don't want to dwell on that past relationship, because that question might come up, be like, oh, how did it end, or why did it end? And you want to stay away from that, correct?
Absolutely, and you don't want to talk about your ex who's applied for restraining orders or protection orders against you, and all the dramatic things. People don't care.
Yeah.
They don't want to know. They may be very curious, but that's a road you just don't travel.
Especially if you want there to be that second date. So we've got some good ideas on how to make that first date right. We want to come up with a good environment where we can have some fun, let that personality grow, and some conversation topics to stay away from. And a little bit later on, you're actually going to be answering some dating-specific questions that some of our viewers have sent in.
I sure am.
So some great advice still to come today with Leanne. But right now, we're going to check in with Brittany Bagnall and see how things are going over at Kildonan Place Shopping Center.